Potomac River: Why Environmental Protections Are Critical to Local Communities, by Casey, Gina, Elaine, Karen, and Shannon. The Potomac River is one of the largest estuaries in the United States. It flows into the Chesapeake Bay watershed and out into the Atlantic Ocean. Historically, it was used as a main port of business to the Washington, D.C. area. Our first president, George Washington, lived on an estate which still sits on the banks of the Potomac River. This site, and many others, draw tourists to visit the D.C. area to experience the history surrounding this dynamic river. Currently, aquatic lovers use the river for various recreational uses. On sunny days, you may see boaters, paddleboards, jet skis, kayaks, and many other water sports up and down the river. In May of 2015, a Dominion power plant dumped approximately 30 million gallons of untreated coal ash into Quantico Creek, which seeped into Potomac River. The Department of Environmental Quality, or DEQ, which is in charge of the State Water Control Board, is known to be friendly with Dominion Power. They paid a $3,500 tab for the head of DEQ to attend the Masters Golf Tournament. Though the state's permit monitored the ash disposal and allowable levels of toxins, it sparked community outrage. There were many meetings and a couple of lawsuits filed against Dominion Power. The community refused to accept coal ash flowing into their water supplies. This ash is known to have lead, arsenic, and many other chemicals. Dominion Power was forced to take responsibility for cleaning it up.
Our power plant had a coal-fired furnace here for years, and they dumped their ash along Quantico Creek, and apparently the water from the ash was leaching into the creek, so they had to move the ash up on the hill to keep it from running into the Quantico Creek, which ran into Potomac River.
I see.
They're in the process of doing that now. They haven't got it finished yet, but they're working on that.
This is an image from 1970 in Arlington, Virginia, right outside of Washington, D.C. It warns residents to not swim, boat, or dive into the Potomac River. Notice the debris and sewage that collected on the banks of the Potomac River in 2006. In the background are the Kennedy Center and the Watergate buildings in Washington, D.C. This current sign shows ongoing concerns of pollution on the Potomac, found at the Key Bridge Boathouse in Arlington, Virginia. This exemplifies the pollution of the Potomac River in our nation's capital.
They told me don't go out there because the catfish got turds in their mouth. I didn't see it personally, but I've seen a lot of dead catfish when I was stationed at Quantico, and that's right on the Potomac River. But I didn't. I believe it because the sewers, the septic systems, the treatment plants would overflow in heavy rains, and stuff would go helter-skelter down the river.
Okay, yeah.
So I know that some of the river has been polluted with human waste, we'll call it.
Okay.
But they do much better job at that now.
In their first comprehensive report, the Potomac Conservancy rated the Potomac River with a grade of a D+ in 2007. This first image is a satellite image from 2002 that shows the amount of pollution in the Potomac River. This next image shows a 2009 satellite image of the same area. Some progress had been made at this point. The final satellite image from 2016 shows how much cleaner the Potomac is after concerted efforts of many groups on cleanup efforts. Many essential conservation groups have devoted time and energy to cleaning up the Potomac River. These groups are assisted by the Clean Water Act of 1972 and the EPA. Even recreational boaters have joined the conservation efforts by utilizing sewage dump stations in Alexandria, Virginia. This diagram shows the current trends of the conservation cleanup efforts on the local areas of the Potomac River. It highlights key areas that are declining and still require intervention, as well as areas that are recovering successfully. This is the Potomac Conservancy's 2016 grade for the Potomac River. It shows the positive impact that cleanup efforts have had on the health of this important national waterway. Concerns linger over the current administration's view on conservation and cleanup efforts across the nation, as well as lack of support for the EPA and the Clean Water Act. How can you help? Get involved. Talk to your congressman and senator and ask them to support this critical waterway. Volunteer in your community to arrange and participate in cleanup days. Use your constitutional right to vote and protest for a cleaner environment for all and for future generations to enjoy. Remember, we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors. We borrow it from our children.